Before starting this video, I would like to thank everyone who watched my last podcast. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mrs., for your feedback and shares. I hope you understood it, that it helped you to reflect in a positive and empathetic way. Thank you again. This video is the beginning of a new concept where I share my thoughts on various topics or try to answer your question related to my podcasts. I will clarify that my reflections are subjective. Don't take them as authoritative arguments, principles, absolute truths, or solution to your problem. I'm not a guru or your role model. Form your own opinions on these matters. Find your own answers and think for yourself. Please. Today, we're gonna talk about FOMO. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. First of all, FOMO is basically fear. What is fear? Where does it come from? In my last podcast, I told you that fear is mainly a defense mechanism that our consciousness set up to protect us from trauma. It's like shame. In certain situations, our awareness sends us feeling of hesitation or anxiety to make us doubt because there are a risk of failing or looking foolish in front of friends. However, it is like a ticking time bomb. Just like self-knowledge. The ego is the mediator between the superego and the id, preventing us from becoming slaves to either. To regulate our personality, the ego also represses undesirable things into unconscious. Fear also prevents us from facing what the ego represses into the unconscious, our traumas. Here are some examples of fear coming from our trauma. Fear of abandonment often comes from childhood experiences of being left alone or neglect, leading to anxiety in relationships or fear of being left by loved ones. Fear of failure comes from past experiences or harsh criticisms or major failures, making a person avoid taking risks or trying new things. Fear of rejection stems from past rejection of being made to feel unworthy, leading to avoiding social situations or romantic pursuits. Fear of intimacy, caused by past emotional or physical abuse, make it hard to form close relationships or trust others, and so on. We can add to this the exhaustive list: fear of public speaking, fear of authority figures, fear of unknown, fear of success, fear of loss, and so on. For example, I have a fear of speaking in English myself, even though I have a good level because of my accent. Also, I hate being made fun of, and I'm also a perfectionist, so I avoid it as much as possible, partly due to some events that made me hate it. I'm currently fighting my FOMO. Why I'm telling you this, you will understand it a bit. Remember this well. Come closer, my friends. I'm gonna give you a concrete example so you get what I mean. After hearing the love stories of many of my friends, I've noticed similar partners in their beginnings, their reactions, and the deep reasons behind their actions. I've come to pretty scary conclusion. Most people get into relationships just to feel a lack of love from the childhood and because they're afraid of abandonment. I've got a friend who grew up without her dad. She lived with her mom, who always tried to fill that void with gift and compliment so she'd forget about absence. We met in high school, I think, and at first glance, we was a very funny girl who seemed happy all the time. We were pretty close, But I always had this good feeling that something was off. So, I'm someone who observes a lot of and can read and understand people's trauma just by listening to them. After talking a lot about relationship and stuff, she told me she'd had many short-term relationships. Over time, I realized all her boyfriends are womanizers. So, I'm someone who observes a lot of and can read and understand people's trauma just by listening to them. After talking a lot about relationship and stuff, she told me she'd had many short-term relationships. Over time, I realized all her boyfriends are womanizers. They always hurt the girl they date, and everyone know it. Surprised by this revelation, I asked her, they're jerks, right? They cheat and mentally destroy their exes. Is that your type of guys? She said, I know. So I asked her, why? You know how you know how they are, and you still fall for them. You know you are hurting yourself. After I asked that, she remembered her childhood, her lack of paternal love, that childhood void. I asked her again, do you love them or just want to feel loved? And then she had this sort of realization and suddenly said, yes, with a trembling voice, like I just exposed a secret. After her reaction, I explained that this need to feel loved comes from that lack of fatherly love. The fact that she always went for the same types of guys every time. For real. Important detail, every time her ex cheated on her and reading mouths, she'd almost always get back with another womanizer. She confirmed this and even added that this void was eating her up inside and making her extremely lonely. According to her, it was the only way to feel that happiness and was like an addiction. She couldn't help herself. When she told me that, I really understood it was like a drug to her. The fake love her exes gave her. Fear is really hard to deal with it, touches our darkest sides. But if you don't recognize our traumas, they can ruin our lives. Just being aware of them isn't enough. You have to take action. It's like self-knowledge. You need to constantly work on it to heal. Think hard. Every fear has a cause. If you don't find the cause, you can stop it from hurting you. Our fear keeps us from being truly happy. After thinking about it, I've concluded that our fear keeps us from being our true selves. Let me explain. For example, some people want to do certain things but hesitate for many reasons. The most common one is the fear of being judged or lack of self-confidence. This fear isn't real. I repeat, this fear isn't real. It's just another form of self-protection. When we don't do what truly excites us, we tend to admire those who do. As a way of reassuring ourselves by saying, if they can do it, I can too. I just don't have enough confidence yet to start. Or in opposite sense, some people might hate others because they make them face their own weaknesses or lack of courage. That's why many people are jealous and bitter towards certain individuals. Let's take an example. Starting from the idea that God created the universe as a whole, and this whole represents harmony. In this harmony, all living beings contribute by playing a role. These roles can be very diverse, and each has a part to play. For the Stoic, no matter what that role is, we should play it well, even if we don't like it. For instance, if you have a bad father, you shouldn't blame him. You should accept it because you have no choice. Your father is just playing his role. I don't agree with this, but it illustrates the idea well. We could wonder if some celebrities had had a peaceful childhood, would they have become so great? Would they have become such extraordinary examples? I don't know. All is to say, maybe your fear of acting is holding others back. Maybe you are the sign for your circle that anything is possible if you follow what truly excites you. Maybe like Cristiano Ronaldo, if you devote yourself to your passion like crazy, you show your social circle that success is possible. It's a theory I have, and I think our talents make us happy and indirectly help others discover theirs. Being social beings, it's only through encounters with others that we change, learn, and discover. With my content, I say it. I say this with pride, not arrogance. I influence many people with my action, behavior, discussions, and so on. From high school to college, just be posting my outfit on Instagram, TikTok. I show people around me that it's possible to take the plunge because they relate more to what's close to them. With my podcast, some people find answer to their questions, find words to describe what they feel, for example. And for the fame, on the street, I often meet people I don't know who tell me they like what I do, that I have talent, and that I will go far. It's extremely gratifying to see that people appreciate our hobbies that much. It's also thanks to my close friends. Love you. That I can do it. Being someone with almost untrackable self-confidence, who knows his qualities and all work I've done on myself, I'm very, very happy, but no more than that. For me, it's just a consequence. Plus, people can hate you, even have haters, but facts don't lie. I'm just doing what I have to do for the world. I'm on my missions. Thanks.